All right. So, um, are you ready to dive into this book?
Oh, yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we're tackling the power of your subconscious mind today. And wow, there's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, it's one of those books, I think we all kind of have on our list. And,
No, for sure.
maybe we've even flipped through it, but to really get into the nitty gritty,
Totally.
that's what we're doing.
This deep dive is going to be fun, I think.
Yeah.
So basically, Murphy's whole premise is that our subconscious mind is like this insanely powerful thing.
Yeah.
Like he calls it this miracle worker living inside of us. That it can like heal our bodies and make us rich and even influence other people.
It sounds crazy.
It does
Like,
sound-
how is that even possible? But
Ah.
he brings up some really interesting examples. There's a lot of ancient wisdom that he pulls from,
Okay.
and even modern science. But it's really those stories that he tells that I think really drive the point home.
Totally. Like that whole thing with the surgeries in India,
Oh, yeah.
like just using the power of suggestion.
In the 19th century.
Yeah.
Like no anesthesia or anything, just like
Sure, yeah.
mentally convincing them
Yeah.
to not feel pain.
It really makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Like how much power do we actually have
It's pretty incredible.
that we're not really tapping into?
And how much of modern medicine even relies on the placebo effect.
Yeah.
Like we don't even realize it
Oh, yeah.
totally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like if you believe something strongly enough,
Yeah.
your mind can make it happen.
Absolutely. And that kind of leads into, I think, one of the biggest things in this book, which is that whole law of belief thing.
Oh, yeah.
So the idea that our subconscious mind, it doesn't really like argue with us, right?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't like
It's not rational.
filter out the BS.
Yeah.
It just like whatever we tell it.
Right.
It's like, okay. And it just goes with it.
Totally. And that's what's so powerful about it, but also
Yeah.
potentially dangerous.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you're constantly feeding your subconscious mind negative thoughts,
Right.
guess what? It's going to manifest those things.
Exactly. And that story about the guy who died because the fortune teller was like, you're going to die
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that one's intense.
on the new moon. And then he did.
Yeah, talk about the power of belief,
Right.
but in like a kind of scary way.
In a bad way. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think we all have those little things
We all do.
that we tell ourselves.
Absolutely.
It's probably holding us back.
Like those limiting beliefs we
Yeah.
may not even be aware of.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Totally. And so how do we get rid of those?
Right. That's the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah.
And thankfully, Murphy gives us some tools
Okay.
to work with.
Yeah.
So one of the big ones he talks about is visualization.
Okay.
And this is something that I think a lot of people are familiar with. But
Yeah.
he takes it to a whole other level.
So instead, just like, I'm going to get that job, I'm going to get that job.
Right.
It's like really feeling it.
It's about creating a mental movie in your mind
Okay.
and engaging all of your senses.
Okay.
So like, let's say you're visualizing that dream job you were talking about. Yeah.
Don't just see yourself like sitting in the corner office.
Yeah.
Feel the chair that you're sitting in.
Uh-huh.
Imagine like smelling the coffee in the break room,
Okay.
hearing your colleagues chatting,
Wow.
like really bring it to life
Okay, I like that.
in your mind.
Yeah.
Because the more real you can make it,
Yeah.
the more your subconscious mind is gonna believe that it's possible.
It's like tricking it almost.
In a way, yeah, it's like you're planting these seeds
Yeah.
in the fertile ground of your subconscious.
I like that.
And
I
then
think that-
you know those seeds are going to grow.
Yeah.
So,
that makes total sense.
yeah, and he gives a great example in the book about this young man who dreamed of becoming a doctor,
Okay.
but he didn't have the money.
Right.
He didn't have the resources.
Yeah. So Murphy tells him to visualize his medical diploma on the wall every single day.
Okay.
And guess what? Years later,
He's a doctor?
he becomes a doctor.
Wow.
Like, that's the power
It's from visualizing.
of visualization.
That's incredible.
It's incredible.
Okay, so that's visualization.
Yeah.
He also talks about affirmations,
Yeah.
right? Like saying the thing that you want
Yes.
over and over.
As if it's already happened.
Okay.
That's the key.
So like instead of I hope I get this job, it's like I am employed.
Thankful
I am grateful for this job.
for this job.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's that like subtle shift in language.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Because your subconscious mind picks up on that.
Oh, interesting.
It's about shifting your mindset
Okay.
from a place of lack and hoping to a place of confident expectation.
So you're like, I already have this.
It's like you already have it.
Okay.
You're just waiting for it to catch up
Interesting.
in the physical world.
So it's already like a done deal in your mind?
It's already done.
Well,
And he calls this cultivating a success consciousness.
Success consciousness. Yeah, that sounds kind of deep.
It's basically about training your mind
Okay.
to expect success,
Oh.
to believe in your ability
Yeah.
to achieve your goals.
Okay.
And the more you embody this belief,
Yeah.
the more your subconscious mind will work to make those goals a reality.
So it's like we're creating our own reality
Exactly.
with our minds.
You're the director of your own mental movie.
I like that. Yeah.
And you get to choose
Like the script.
what you want to create.
Yeah. That's awesome.
It's pretty amazing.
And the thing is, he doesn't just talk about like getting rich and,
Right.
getting that job. He also talks about like our relationships and
Yeah.
forgiveness and even like how we age.
That's where it gets really
So
interesting.
all that stuff is connected to our subconscious mind.
Yeah, he's saying that our subconscious mind
Mm,
influences every aspect of our lives,
that's wild.
even things that we think are totally out of our control, like how we age.
Okay, I'm really curious to get more into that.
Yeah, we should dive into that more.
Yeah, because how do we even begin to apply that?
Right, like how...
Like, how do we use our subconscious mind
Yeah,
to age better?
right, exactly.
Like, what does that even mean?
Like, could you literally think yourself younger?
Yeah.
That's a great question.
Is that a thing?
I don't know the answer to that,
Right.
but Murphy definitely believes that our thoughts have a powerful impact
Right.
on our physical bodies
Wow.
and our overall well-being.
This is going to be good.
Yeah, that's pretty fascinating stuff.
Yeah. All right, so let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back and we'll unpack some more of this.
Sounds good.
Okay, so we were talking about how our subconscious minds can even influence things like how we age.
Yeah, it's wild, right?
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It really is. And that actually reminds me of what Murphy says about dreams.
Oh, yeah.
Because he believes that dreams are like these direct messages
It's
from our subconscious.
like it's trying to tell us something.
Exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
But it's not always
Oh,
in a
yeah.
language that we understand.
Right? It's like, what was that dream I had last night? It made no sense.
Exactly. It's like symbolic,
Yeah.
metaphorical.
Yeah.
But the more we pay attention to those symbols
Yeah.
and the emotions that we feel in our dreams,
Okay.
the more we can start to decode
Sure.
those messages.
So he's saying, like, don't just ignore your dreams.
Right.
Like, actually write them down.
Yeah. Keep a dream journal
Okay.
and really try to analyze them.
Look for the patterns.
Exactly.
See if there's, like, a common theme.
Because you might start to notice
Okay.
that certain things keep coming up.
Okay.
And those things might actually be connected
Yeah.
to things that are going on in your waking life.
Interesting.
Or even like hidden fears or insecurities.
Oh, wow. I could see how that would be helpful.
Yeah, it's like getting to know a whole other side of yourself.
Just like therapy, but you're just, like, talking to yourself.
Exactly.
That's so cool.
But the thing is, it's not enough
Yeah.
to just like understand our subconscious minds.
Right.
You have to actually work with them.
Okay, so how do we do that?
So we've talked about visualization and affirmations, but Murphy also talks about the importance of prayer.
Okay.
And I know that might sound kind of religious,
Yeah.
but he's not necessarily talking about like praying to a specific deity.
Okay.
It's more about connecting with that higher power
Yeah.
that exists within all of us.
Okay, so it's like that feeling of something greater than yourself.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
and tapping into that.
Gotcha. So it's more about like the feeling of spirituality.
Right. It's
Yeah.
about cultivating that connection.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
And then another big one is gratitude.
Oh, yeah. I've heard that's huge.
It's huge.
Like focusing on the good stuff that
Yeah.
you already have.
Because when we focus on the things that we're grateful for,
Yeah.
it shifts our energy.
Okay.
It changes our vibration.
Yeah.
And it attracts more good things into our lives.
So it's like you're putting out that positive energy,
Exactly.
and then it's like boomerang, it comes back to you.
Exactly. It's like the law of attraction.
Oh, okay. I've heard of that,
Yeah.
but never really like fully understood it.
Basically, what you put out is what you get back.
Okay, so like what you were saying about the gratitude.
Right.
Like if you're constantly complaining,
Yeah.
you're going to attract more things to complain about.
Exactly.
Okay, but if you're like, oh, I'm so grateful for this and this, then you're going to attract more.
More things to be grateful for.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
And something else that ties into that
What's that?
is forgiveness.
Well, forgiveness, that's a tough one.
It is tough, but
Yeah.
it's so important
Oh,
because when we hold on to anger
Yeah.
and resentment,
Yeah.
it's like we're drinking poison
Okay.
and expecting the other person to die.
I've heard that saying before,
Yeah, it's so true.
but it's so hard to like actually do it.
It is hard.
Like, how do you just forgive someone
Right.
who like really wronged you?
Well, Murphy tells this really interesting story in the book
Okay.
about this man who had committed a crime
Okay.
And he had been carrying around this guilt
Yeah.
for years.
Oh, yeah?
And he was convinced that God was punishing him. And he was living in this constant state of torment.
So he was like holding on to this guilt, and it was just
Yeah.
eating him alive.
Exactly.
Wow.
And finally he realized
Yeah.
that he had to forgive himself.
That's huge.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And it wasn't easy.
Right.
But by forgiving himself,
Yeah.
he was able to release that burden.
And like move on with his life.
Exactly. And that's the power of forgiveness.
So it's not really even about the other person.
Right.
It's about you.
It's about freeing yourself.
Wow. Okay, that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've talked about visualization, affirmations, prayer, gratitude, forgiveness.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of tools
Yeah.
to work with.
But the thing is, it's not a one-time thing.
Right.
It's a lifelong practice.
Right. So you have to be patient
Yes.
and consistent.
Exactly.
It's like going to the gym.
Exactly. You're not going to see results
Yeah,
overnight.
I don't just go like once a month.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to be consistent.
Okay, so we got to put in the work.
We do.
But the good news is
Yeah.
we have this incredible power.
We do.
Yes.
Our subconscious minds
Yeah.
are our greatest allies
Okay, I like that.
if we know how to work with them.
So it's like we have this like secret weapon
Exactly.
that we're just like now learning how to use.
We're just scratching the surface.
Oh, this is exciting.
It is exciting.
I'm like ready to put all this stuff into practice.
Me too.
It's true though. It is like going to the gym.
It is.
Like you can't just like go once and expect to have like a six-pack.
Totally.
You gotta keep at it.
Yeah. Consistency is key
Right.
with everything.
Yeah.
But especially when it comes to like,
The subconscious mind.
yeah, like rewiring those neural pathways.
Oh yeah, that's deep.
But that's really what we're doing, is
Right.
we're changing the way
Rewiring our brains.
that our brains fire,
Wow.
you know, and creating new connections.
Okay.
So it's like anything else.
Yeah.
The more you do it,
Yeah.
the easier it becomes.
Okay, that's good.
It's like building a muscle.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you just got to keep working at it.
So we're building our subconscious muscles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the good news is
Yeah.
you have all the tools that you need
Right.
within you.
So we don't need anything external.
No, it's all internal.
Wow.
It's all about tapping into
Our own power.
that inner power that we all possess.
That is really cool.
It is pretty amazing.
Okay, so for everyone listening out there
Yeah.
who's like ready to rewire their subconscious,
Yes.
what's like one thing they can start doing today?
You know, I think the biggest thing is just becoming aware
Okay.
of your thoughts.
Okay.
Because for so long,
Yeah.
we've just been operating on autopilot.
Right. Just letting our thoughts run wild
Exactly.
Yeah.
And most of us aren't even aware
of what's going on in there.
of the thoughts
Yeah.
that are running through our heads.
That's scary.
It is kind of scary.
Yeah.
But once you become aware of those thoughts,
Yeah.
you can start to choose
Different ones.
different ones.
Okay.
You know, so start paying attention to your
Okay.
self-talk.
Right.
Okay.
So like notice when we're being negative. Be like, no, I'm not going to
I'm not going to think that.
think that anymore.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm going to choose a different thought.
I love it.
Yeah.
This has been
It's
amazing.
been fun.
Thank you so much for diving into this book with me.
Oh, thanks for having me.
I feel like I learned so much.
Me too.
And I'm excited to like put all this stuff into practice.
Yes, me too.
Okay, everyone listening, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next time.